These 4 Sundays before Christmas, we're taking time to focus on Jesus.
U ove 4 nedjelje prije Božića razmatrat ćemo više o Isusu.
Christmas is the most magnificent event that has happened in human history, or that ever will happen.
Božić je najveličanstveniji događaj koji se dogodio u ljudskoj povijesti i koji će se ikada dogoditi.
We want to take our time to prepare our minds and hearts to think about what it really meant that Jesus came into the world.
Želimo pripremiti svoje umove i svoja srca kako bismo mogli razumjeti šta to zapravo znači da je Isus došao na svijet.
So we're looking at the prologue of John, and then also through the teaching of John that we understand the prologue.
Razmatrali smo proslov Evanđelja po Ivanu, a i kasnije u Evanđelju gledamo da nam to razjasni proslov.
And each time we recognize that John is intentionally connecting his story of Jesus with the very beginning of things, back into Genesis chapter 1.
Vidimo da Ivan namjerno povezuje početak svoga Evanđelja sa početkom svih stvari, sa postankom 1.
So in the beginning of Genesis we see the beginning.
U početku postanka vidimo sam početak.
The word spoken.
Riječ je izgovorena.
There is life, there is light, there is creation.
Postoji život, postoji svjetlo, stvaranje.
That's what we see in the first 5 verses of John.
To isto vidimo i u prvih 5 stihova Ivana.
In the beginning there is word, there is life, there is light, there is creation.
U početku je riječ, život, svjetlo, stvaranje.
We're focusing on light today. What does it mean for Jesus to be the light?
Danas ćemo razmišljati o svjetlu. Šta to znači da je Isus svjetlo?
It's interesting that in the other 3 Gospels, there's a prophecy in Scripture that talks about Jesus being the light.
Zanimljivo da u ostala 3 evanđelja ima proročanstvo koje govori da je Isus svjetlo.
We read that this morning from Isaiah 9:1 and 2.
Čitali smo iz Izaije 9:1 i 2.
And what's interesting to me is how John doesn't, I guess he figures 3 times is enough. We know that he has another source for showing Jesus to be the light.
Ivan se ne poziva na to proročanstvo iz Izaije, nego ima drugi izvor uz pomoć kojega tvrdi da je Isus svjetlo.
And he's really elevating Jesus. Jesus is the universal light.
I tvrdi da je Isus univerzalno svjetlo.
So you get this image in the first verses of John of complete darkness.
U prvim stihovima Ivana imamo sliku potpune tame.
If you think about the creation story.
Ako razmišljate o priči stvaranja.
And there was only chaos.
Bio je samo kaos.
And God spoke.
Bog je progovorio.
And into that complete and utter darkness, light pierced.
I u tu potpunu tamu probija svjetlo.
There's utter darkness.
Znači potpuna tama.
In the human reality.
U ljudskoj stvarnosti.
Until Jesus pierces into it.
Dok Isus ne probija u tu tamu.
We read from this prologue, and there's, as soon as, last week we talked about Jesus being life, and there was no real tension with that.
Prošli tjedan smo govorili da je Isus život i nije bilo nekakvih velikih problema s time.
But as soon as John starts talking about light, he starts talking about opposition to that light.
Ali čim Ivan spomene da je Isus svjetlo, odmah vidimo i nekakvo protivljenje tom svijetlu.
So in verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, but the darkness did not overcome it.
5. stih, i svjetlo svijetli u tami i tama ga ne obuze.
Your Bible might say the darkness did not comprehend it.
Možda vam Biblija, vaš prijevod kaže da ga tama nije razumjela.
The literal Greek is to overcome.
Doslovno iz grčkog je nije ga nadvladala.
But that word is also used metaphorically to mean to understand. If I overcome something with my mind, then I understand it.
Ali isto tako ta riječ se koristi metaforički. Ako nešto nadvladam svojim umom, znači da sam ga razumio. Znači može se to prevesti kao tama ga nije razumjela ili ga nije nadvladala.
So in John you see both ideas.
U Ivanu imate obje te ideje.
The darkness is trying to overcome or stamp out, to snuff the light that is Jesus.
Tama pokušava nadvladati, ugasiti svjetlo.
There's verbal argumentative opposition to Jesus in the first 4 chapters.
U prva 4 poglavlja Ivana javlja se verbalna opozicija, znači ljudi se svađaju sa Isusom, suprotstavljaju mu se verbalno.
Chapters 5 and 9 are framed by 2 miracles that were done on the Sabbath.
Poglavlja od 5 do 9 nalaze se, su uokvirena i s jedne i s druge strane sa 2 čudesima koja su se dogodila na šabat, na subotu.
And the opposition to Jesus has intensified. It's more legal, and the leaders are really looking for a way to end his ministry.
Opozicija Isusu se pojačava, sad je već stvar o pravnim prekršajima, dakle Isus krši sabat i vjerski vođe gledaju kako bi ga se riješili.
So by the end of chapter 10, a crowd picks up stones to stone Jesus.
Do kraja 10. poglavlja svjetina podiže kamenje i gleda kako bi kamenovali Isusa.
And Jesus, knowing it's not the time to die, withdraws from Jerusalem.
Isus, znajući da još nije vrijeme da umre, povlači se iz Jeruzalema.
But then he comes back at the death of Lazarus.
Ali se vraća kad Lazar umire.
And by the end of chapter 11, the leaders had decided we have to kill this man.
I do kraja 11. poglavlja vjerski vođe odlučuju ovog čovjeka moramo ubiti.
And they will succeed in killing this man.
I uspjeće u tome da ga ubiju.
But still they don't overcome the light.
Ali još uvijek neće nadvladati svjetlo.
You also see through the gospel this other idea of this inability of darkened human beings to comprehend Jesus.
Isto tako kroz cijelo evanđelje vidimo i tu ideju da ljudska bića koja su zamračena grijehom ne mogu razumjeti svjetlo.
So the darkness can't snuff him out, but the darkness also can't get him. They can't understand him.
Dakle, tama ga ne može nadvladati, pobijediti, ugasiti, ali ga isto tako ne može ni razumjeti.
That's what we read in 1:9 through 13.
To smo čitali u prvom poglavlju 9 do 13.
The true light came into the world,
Svjetlo istinito došlo je na svijet
enlightening every man,
i rasvjetljuje svakog čovjeka,
but he doesn't enlighten every man
ali on zapravo ne rasvjetljuje svakog čovjeka.
because the world that he created
Zato što onaj svijet koji je on stvorio
does not know him,
ga ne pozna
and in verse 11 does not receive him.
i u 11. stihu ne prima ga.
So there's this opposition. Human beings, when they face Jesus, the first instinct is to remove the light.
Znači, postoji to instinktivno protivljenje. Kad ljudska bića se susretnu s Isusom, nagon je da ga maknu od sebe.
So the first thing we're going to do this morning is look through the Gospel of John at that pattern, that instinct of the people who interact with John and how they respond to him, interact with Jesus and how they respond to him negatively.
Znači, sad ćemo pogledati kroz cijelo evanđelje po Ivanu, gledat ćemo ljude koji imaju nekakvu interakciju sa Isusom i kako odgovaraju na njega negativno.
But there's this very curious statement in verse 4 of John 1.
U 4. stihu prvog poglavlja Ivana ima zanimljiva tvrdnja.
In him was life, and that life was the light of men.
Kaže, u njoj bijaše život i život bijaše svjetlo ljudima.
Which has always seemed to me a little backwards.
To je meni malo onako naopako uvijek mi se činilo.
Seems to make more sense that he was light.
Logičnije bi bilo da je on svjetlo.
And he makes things clear to us that we can see them.
I onda nam radi tog svjetla nam rasvjetljava stvari da mi možemo vidjeti jasnije.
And seeing we believe and have life.
I onda nakon što vidimo, povjerujemo i imamo život.
So if I were writing the gospel,
znači, ako sam ja u pravu,
I would have said in him was light, and that light was the life of men.
A ne, pardon, da sam ja pisao evanđelje, ja bih napisao on je svjetlo i to svjetlo je postalo život ljudima.
That's not what John said.
Ali Ivan ne kaže to.
He said in him was life, and the life was light.
On kaže, u njoj bijaše život, i život bijaše svjetlo.
So after we look at several of the negative responses to Jesus,
Nakon što promotrimo nekoliko negativnih odgovora na Isusa,
we're going to look at some of the positive responses,
pogledat ćemo i neke pozitivne,
which are going to help us understand this verse,
a oni će nam pomoći da razumijemo ovaj 4.
and
stih.
which are also going to shed light on our own experience.
I to će nam rasvijetliti i naše vlastito iskustvo.
Actually, unfortunately, both sets are going to shed light on our experiences, both the negative and the positive.
Zapravo će i ova negativna i pozitivni i negativni odgovori će rasvijetliti naše iskustvo.
Because in one sense, we're looking at two different types of people,
Zapravo gledamo na dva različita tipa ljudi,
but in another sense, we're looking at the two people that are inside you.
ali s druge strane isto gledamo na dva čovjeka koji se nalaze u svakome od vas.
The one that wants to hide from the light,
Onaj jedan koji se želi sakriti od svjetla
and the one that's drawn to the light.
i drugi kojega svjetlo privlači.
Okay, so first we're going to look at the ones who really responded negatively to Jesus, who just wanted to stamp it out.
Prvo pogledajmo ove ljude koji su stvarno negativno reagirali na Isusa, koji su ga se željeli riješiti.
Why would anyone want to shut out the light that's Jesus?
Zašto? Zašto bi netko želio ugasiti Isusovo svjetlo?
So first we read from chapter 3.
Prvo čitali smo iz 3. poglavlja.
So right after the most famous verse in John,
Nakon onog najpoznatijeg stiha u Ivanu,
that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son,
da je Bog tako ljubio svijet da je dao svog jedinorođenog sina.
we get a little further down and in verse 19,
Niže u 19. stihu,
the light has come into the world and men loved darkness rather than the light,
kaže, svjetlo je došlo na svijet, a ljudi su više voljeli tamu nego svjetlo,
for their deeds were evil.
jer su im djela bila zla.
That's reason number one, people want to shut out the light that is Jesus.
To je prvi razlog zašto ljudi pokušavaju ugasiti svjetlo, to jest Isusa.
Because they want to do what they want to do,
Zato što žele činiti ono što žele
and they
činiti.
don't want people to shed light on that,
I ne žele da ljudi to stavljaju pod povećalo,
because they have a sense that this light doesn't agree with what they're doing.
jer imaju osjećaj da to svjetlo koje ih rasvjetljava se neće slagati s onim što oni
And they
rade.
don't want people to see what they're doing,
Ne žele da drugi vide šta oni rade
so they want to shut out the light.
i zato žele ugasiti svjetlo.
Has that ever been you?
Jeste li to ikad bili vi?
In some way, it's still currently you, isn't it?
Na jedan način to još uvijek možda ste vi.
There are things we do not want Jesus to shed the light on.
Ima još uvijek stvari u našim životima na koje ne želimo da Isus uperi svjetlo.
A second response in chapter 8,
Drugi odgovor u 8. poglavlju.
this is a passage we love to read like for discipleship.
Ovaj odlomak jako volimo čitati kad radimo učeništvo s nekim.
It's going to be down in verse 31-32.
U stihovima 31-32.
But in 8:12, Jesus stood up and said, "I'm the light of the world."
Ali u 8.12 Isus se ustaje i kaže, ja sam svjetlo svijeta.
The Pharisees oppose him and say, "You're the one who testifies to himself,"
Farizeji mu se suprotstavljaju i kaže, ti svjedočiš sam za sebe.
meaning that's not valid.
Što znači, to ti nije dovoljno dobar argument.
And Jesus says, "I am the one who testifies of himself,
Isus kaže, pa da, ja jesam taj koji svjedoči za sebe,
because I am the source of light.
zato što sam ja izvor svjetla.
I am the one who gets to say, I am the light."
Ja sam onaj koji ima pravo reći ja sam svjetlo,
But it's not just me, my Father testifies for me too.
ali ne svjedočim samo ja, nego i moj otac svjedoči za
And
mene.
at the end of this interaction, a lot of people believe, the text says,
Tekst kaže da na kraju ovog njihovog dijaloga mnogi ljudi su povjerovali.
in John, you're not sure what that means.
U Ivanu nije 100% sigurno šta to znači da su
As you
povjerovali.
go through John, you start realizing the people that believe don't always really believe.
Kako čitate Ivanovo evanđelje, shvaćate da kad piše da su ljudi povjerovali, to ne znači uvijek da su povjerovali.
So verse 30 sounds great. After he said these things, many came to believe.
Stih 30, dok je on to govorio, mnogi su povjerovali u njega.
Then verse 31, it says he spoke to those who believed in him.
31. stih na to reče Isus onima koji su mu vjerovali.
If you abide in my word, you're my disciples, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Ako ustrajete u mojoj nauci, uistinu ste moji učenici, upoznaćete istinu, a istina će vas osloboditi.
We could just take that as a truth. Jesus is just saying something that's true.
Mi to uzmemo kao generalnu istinu. Eto, Isus govori jedan generalni princip.
It was a challenge.
Ali to je bio izazov.
You who say you believe in me,
Vi koji kažete da vjerujete u mene,
if you abide in my truth,
ako stvarno prebivate u mojoj istini,
then my truth will set you free.
onda će vas moja istina osloboditi.
But if your belief is not really belief,
Ali ako vaša vjera nije prava vjera,
my truth will have no power to set you free.
moja istina neće imati snage da vas oslobodi.
And you see, and that's what you get in the rest of the story.
I to vidimo u ostatku priče.
He just said, my truth will set you free.
Upravo je rekao, moja istina će vas osloboditi.
And for some reason that stings them in the heart.
Iz nekog razloga to ih onako ubode u srce.
And a lot of them say in verse 33, we are Abraham's offspring, we have never yet been enslaved to anyone. How is it that you say, you shall become free?
I oni mu odgovaraju, mi smo potomci Abrahamovi i nikada nikom nismo robovali. Kako ti možeš reći, postaćete slobodni?
So Jesus is shining some light on their belief.
Znači, Isus rasvjetljava kvalitetu njihove vjere.
And they're offended.
I oni su time uvrijeđeni.
We don't need what you're saying we need.
Ne treba nama ovo šta ti
We're not enslaved to anything.
Nismo mi robovi
In fact,
nečemu.
we have never been
Zapravo
enslaved.
mi nikada nismo bili robovi
Which is
nekoga.
kind of funny for Jews to say
To je
that.
zanimljivo da bi jedan Židov to rekao.
Egypt.
Egipat.
Okay. We're Abraham's offspring. We've never
Mi
been
smo
enslaved.
Abrahamovi potomci, nikad nismo bili u ropstvu, okej.
And then in verse 34 to 47,
Stihovi 34 do 47,
you get this back and forth, and Jesus is going deeper and deeper. He's basically calling them children of the devil.
imate izmjenu između Isusa i te svjetine, koji su kao povjerovali, i Isus njih zapravo naziva đavoljom djecom.
And their response is the very mature response.
I njihov odgovor je vrlo zreo.
No, we're not, you are.
Ne, mi nismo, ti si.
And it ends up with them picking up, let's say, it ends up with them wanting to kill him. I don't think they pick up stones
I
here.
završava tako da ga žele ubiti.
And this is the ones who it had said they believed.
I to su ljudi za koje je reklo tamo u 30. stihu da su povjerovali.
But it wasn't true belief for many of them.
Ali to za mnoge od njih nije bila prava vjera.
And so when that light shines, okay, when it shines against our moral behavior, we want to shut it out.
Kad Isusovo svjetlo rasvjetljava naše moralno ponašanje, mi ga želimo ugasiti.
Here it's shining on their self-identity,
Ovdje Isus rasvjetljava njihov identitet.
who they define themselves to be as Abraham's children.
Kako oni sami sebe definiraju kao Abrahamovu djecu.
Jesus is taking away that sense of value from them.
Isus im oduzima taj osjećaj vrijednosti.
And instead of letting Jesus break them down and give them a new sense of value,
I umjesto da dopuste da ih Isus slomi i da im da novi osjećaj vrijednosti,
they want to hold on to who they are.
oni se žele držati za ovo
And
što
that makes them want to
jesu.
shut out the light.
I radi toga žele ugasiti svjetlo.
And then we read from chapter 9.
Čitali smo iz 9. poglavlja.
This one's a great sermon by itself.
Ova priča je propovjed sama za sebe.
In the end, who sees
Na kraju, ko je onaj koji vidi,
and who doesn't?
a tko je slijep?
The uneducated blind man sees.
Neobrazovani slijepac
The
vidi,
very religious Pharisees
a
don't see.
religiozni farizeji su slijepi.
They want to hold on to their religion and to their position
Oni se žele držati svoje religije i svog položaja,
so much that it's more important to them that Jesus would dare to make mud on the Sabbath
toliko da im je važnija ta činjenica da se Isus usudio napraviti blato na
That's what they're
subotu.
accusing him of. He spit and did work.
Za to ga optužuju da je pljunuo i radio.
And I'm quite sure he did it on purpose
I ja sam siguran da je on to napravio namjerno,
because he's poking into what they find valuable.
jer ih bocka u njihove vrijednosti.
So that's more important than the fact of a man who's been blind his entire life can now see.
Značajnije im je dakle to nego činjenica da čovjek koji je cijelog života bio slijep sad odjednom vidi.
And so they want to shut him down because they don't want to lose their position, they don't want to lose their religion.
I zato ga žele izbaciti ili ugasiti, zato što ne žele izgubiti svoj položaj i svoj ugled.
So our moral behavior, our sense of self-identity,
moralno ponašanje, osjećaj identiteta,
our sense of religion and our sense of power or position,
naš religiozni nekakav osjećaj i položaj.
when those are threatened by the light of Jesus,
Kad te stvari budu ugrožene Isusovim svjetlom,
the initial human response is to remove the light that is Jesus.
prvi odgovor čovjeka je da odmakne to svjetlo, da ga ugasi.
But we see another group of people in John who they're in darkness, but they don't seem to understand that they're in darkness.
Vidimo i drugu grupu ljudi u Ivanovom evanđelju, to su ljudi koji su u tami, ali kao da ne shvaćaju da su u tami.
So they don't respond in direct opposition to Jesus.
Oni ne pružaju direktnu opoziciju Isusu,
But instead they're trying to take Jesus and make Jesus be on their side.
nego pokušavaju Isusa pridobiti na svoju stranu.
So Jesus is like a flashlight.
Isus im je tu kao svjetiljka.
So they get this sense there's some light in Jesus.
Ok, oni razumiju da ima nekakvo svjetlo u Isusu.
I'm going to take that light
Ja ću sad uzeti to svjetlo
and I'm going to shine it on things,
i uperit ću ga
but I'm the one who's defining what I see.
tamo gdje ja želim. I ja sam taj koji određuje ono što ću ja vidjeti.
So it sort of looks like I'm on Jesus' side, but I'm really using Jesus to affirm my position.
Znači, izgleda kao da sam ja na Isusovoj strani, ali zapravo ja koristim Isusa da sebi potvrdim svoje mišljenje.
Okay, back to the start. So that's in chapter 2.
To je drugo poglavlje,
In 23
stih 23.
through 25,
do 25.
there were a bunch of people who were in Jerusalem who saw Jesus doing miracles.
U Jeruzalemu je bilo puno ljudi koji su vidjeli kako Isus radio čudesa.
And it says they believed,
Kaže da su
but
povjerovali,
it's really interesting to hear what Jesus thinks about their belief.
ali je zanimljivo sad vidjeti šta Isus kaže o njihovoj vjeri.
So read 2:23 to 25.
Znači, drugo poglavlje, 23. do 25. stiha. Dok je Isus boravio u Jeruzalemu u blagdanu Paske, počeše mnogi vjerovati u njega, jer su vidjeli čudesa koja je činio. Ali im se sam Isus nije povjeravao, jer ih je sve poznavao. Njemu nije trebalo da mu tko dadne svjedočanstvo o čovjeku, jer je sam poznavao čovjekovu nutrinu.
So what did they see?
Šta su oni vidjeli?
They saw spiritual power.
Oni su vidjeli duhovnu moć.
And so they developed this belief based on miracles.
I počeli su vjerovati u nešto na temelju čudesa koja su vidjeli.
But Jesus saw that this is not getting into the heart. They're not taking the next step.
Ali Isus je shvatio da ta njihova vjera zapravo ne dopire do srca. Oni ne idu dublje.
They're believing in the power and the experience that they're witnessing.
Vjeruju u moć i u iskustvo koje su upravo doživjeli.
That in itself is not bad.
I to samo po sebi nije loše.
If it moves people then to Jesus.
Ako će to dovesti ljude do Isusa.
But if it stops as I'm into the guy that can do miracles.
Ali ako to ostane samo na joj, meni je super ovaj čovjek koji radi čudesa.
They saw a little bit of light.
Onda su vidjeli malo svjetla,
But they didn't move into the light.
ali nisu se primakli u
And
svjetlo.
so the text says Jesus did not entrust himself to them
I tekst kaže, Isus im se nije povjeravao,
because he knew what was in their heart.
jer je znao što je u njihovim srcima.
Then in chapter 3,
U trećem
we
poglavlju
get Nicodemus.
imamo Nikodema.
By the way, there's an interesting connection between Nicodemus and Judas.
Postoji zanimljiva poveznica između Nikodema i Jude.
Slightly off topic. In chapter 3, Nicodemus moves from the darkness at night into the light of Jesus' presence.
U trećem poglavlju Nikodem dolazi iz tame u noći i dolazi k Isusu koji je svjetlo.
And in chapter 13, Judas is going to leave the presence of Jesus, leave the light, and walk out into darkness.
A u 13. poglavlju Isus će napustiti Juda će napustiti Isusovo društvo Dakle, prisustvo svjetla izaći će iz njega i otići u mrak.
Eventually, Nicodemus is actually going to come into the light of Jesus, but not here.
Nikodem će na kraju priče doći u Isusovo svjetlo, ali ne ovdje.
If the other people were seeing miracles, I think Nicodemus is seeing wisdom.
Dok drugi ljudi, na primjer, vide čudesa, Nikodem u Isusu vidi mudrost.
Nicodemus sees, he calls him rabbi, you're a teacher.
Nikodem ga naziva učiteljem. Ti si učitelj.
You can
rabbi.
teach me something.
Ti me nešto možeš naučiti.
I'm a teacher, you're a teacher, I want to learn from you.
Ja sam učitelj, ti si učitelj, ja želim od tebe nešto naučiti.
But then when you get into the conversation, you see that Nicodemus is so confused, he can't understand anything Jesus is saying.
Ali onda kad počnete čitati razgovor, vidite da je Nikodem toliko zbunjen da uopće ne razumije šta Isus
So he
govori.
wants to use the light of Jesus to understand things,
Nikodem želi upotrijebiti Isusovo svjetlo kako bi razumio neke stvari,
but he hasn't yet believed in Jesus.
ali nije još povjerovao u samoga
And
Isusa.
so it's not working out for him. He can't see like Jesus sees.
I zato mu to nema koristi jer ne vidi onako kao što Isus vidi.
Then in chapter 6,
U 6. poglavlju
Jesus has just done the miracle of feeding the 5,000.
Isus je upravo nahranio 5.000 ljudi.
And in verse 15, Jesus withdraws because he perceives they want to make him king.
U 15. stihu Isus se povlači na stranu jer vidi da ga žele oni proglasiti kraljem.
So they're not seeing necessarily just the spiritual power or the teaching of Jesus.
Ovi ljudi ne vide nužno duhovnu moć, pa čak ni mudrost Isusovu,
They're seeing a leader,
nego vide vođu.
someone that can feed us,
Neko ko nas može hraniti,
someone that's confident in his teaching,
neko ko je samopouzdan u svojom
someone that's
učenju,
not afraid of the religious authorities.
neko ko se ne boji vjerskih vlasti.
This guy could lead us
Ovaj lik bi nas mogao voditi
against Rome.
protiv Rima.
We need to make him king.
Moramo ga zakraljiti. Moramo ga okruniti za kralja.
So again, they're seeing partial truth.
Isto tako oni vide djelomičnu
Is
istinu.
Jesus a leader?
Je li Isus vođa?
Absolutely. Is he
Apsolutno.
king?
Je li kralj?
Yes, already.
Da, već je.
But not the one. They're taking a part of the light, they're looking through their own grid, and they can't see who Jesus really is.
Ali on nije onakav kralj kakvog oni žele. Uzeli su dio svjetla, gledaju to svjetlo kroz svoju perspektivu i žele njega napraviti da on bude ono što oni žele.
And the last example of those who are still in the dark because they're only using a piece of the light
I zadnji primjer ljudi koji su još uvijek u tami zato što koriste samo dio svjetla
is Pilate in chapter 18.
je Pilat u 18. poglavlju.
Pilate, I think, saw an enigma.
Pilat vidi jednu enigmu.
He saw someone who did not fit.
On je netko, on u Isusu vidi nekoga ko se ne uklapa, ni ništa.
He saw something mysterious.
Vidi nekoga ko je misteriozan.
And that's also true of Jesus.
To je Isus.
All this has been true. He has spiritual power.
Sve ovo prije nabrojano je istinito.
He is
On
a
ima
teacher.
duhovnu moć,
He
je
has
učitelj,
wisdom.
mudar je,
He's a leader,
on je vođa
and he's a mystery.
i on je tajna.
You know, it's affirmed to Pilate because his wife had this dream about Jesus.
To se Pilatu potvrdilo jer mu je žena imala san o Isusu.
And so he's talking to Jesus.
Pilat razgovara sa
He
Isusom.
can't really find anything. He's trying to get Jesus to trap himself. For some reason, I should condemn this man, and he can't get anything.
I pokušava naći nekakav razlog ili možda da se Isus uhvati sam sebe u stupicu pa da ga ovaj može osuditi, ali ne uspijeva naći.
And then in verse 37 and 38,
Stihovi 37 i 38,
Jesus says, "Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice."
Isus kaže, svi koji su od istine čuju moj glas.
Pilate says, "What is truth?"
A Pilat kaže, a šta je istina?
And he returns to pragmatism.
I vraća se pragmatizmu.
He saw an enigma.
Vidio je zagonetku.
That enigma could have drawn him into Jesus.
Ta zagonetka ga je mogla privući skroz duboko do Isusa.
But he's a practical guy.
Ali on je praktičar.
Truth is relative.
Istina je
I
relativna.
got these Jews to deal with.
Ja se moram boriti s ovim ovdje
I'm
Židovima
going to give up Jesus.
i odustajem od Isusa.
So we see this in this one set, in the people who reject the light.
vidimo ljude koji odbacuju svjetlo,
openly reject and oppose the light.
vidimo one koji otvoreno se suprotstavljaju i odbacuju svjetlo.
And there are those who reject the light by co-opting it. They take a piece, but then they keep it through their own grid.
I onda treće vidimo ljude koji prihvaćaju dio svjetla, ali ga promatraju kroz svoju prizmu i zapravo ga time isto tako odbacuju.
So let's look at this last section of people who actually respond to the light.
Pogledajmo zadnju kategoriju ljudi koji odgovaraju pozitivno na svjetlo.
And the key here is not going to be knowledge.
I ovdje nije ključ znanje.
They're not the ones who understand truth.
To nisu ljudi koji intelektualno razumiju istinu.
It goes back to that verse 4, that in him is light and that light is the light of men.
Vraćamo se sad na onaj 4. stih. U njemu je život, a taj život je svjetlo ljudima.
These are the ones who taste life in Jesus.
To su ljudi koji su okusili život u Isusu.
These are the ones who smell an aroma of goodness in Jesus.
To su oni kojima je Isus prekrasan miris života.
These are the ones that see that whatever else life is going to throw at me, Jesus is the answer.
To su ljudi koji kažu šta god život baci pred mene, odgovor je u Isusu.
And that's how you know they're true disciples.
I po tome znate da su to pravi učenici.
Because their major life questions
Jer njihova velika životna pitanja,
that in your own human thinking would turn you against God,
koja, kad biste ljudski o njima razmišljali, to bi vas odvojilo od Boga.
but these people say, I don't get that,
Ali ovi ljudi kažu, ok, ovo ne razumijem,
but I smell life in Jesus.
ali ovdje mi miriši život u Isusu.
I can't figure any of this out, but I know Jesus.
Ništa od ovoga mi nije jasno, ali ono što znam je Isus. Odgovor je Isus.
In him is life,
U njemu je život.
And by accepting that reality, being drawn to the life that is in Jesus,
I kad prihvatim tu realnost, kad sam privučen životu koji se nalazi u Isusu,
they see.
onda ti ljudi progledaju.
That life that's in him that draws us to him,
To svjetlo koje je u njemu, koje nas privlači k njemu,
that becomes our light.
to nam, život koji je u njemu, to postaje naše svjetlo.
And when nothing else makes sense,
I kad ništa drugo nema
if
smisla,
I stick to what Jesus says is true,
ako se samo držim onoga što Isus kaže da je istinito,
I see.
onda vidim.
At least I see enough.
Barem vidim dovoljno.
And so you see that in the Samaritan woman at the well,
Imate to u ženi na zdencu Samarijanki.
who's struggling with life questions of shame.
Ona se bori sa životnim pitanjima sramom.
Why did my life turn out this way?
Zašto je moj život ovako ispao?
Why do I have to go to the well at the middle of the day when nobody else is around because I'm so ashamed of who I am?
Zašto moram ići na ovaj izvor u sred dana, zato da izbjegnem druge ljude, zato što se toliko sramim onoga ko jesam?
And she did not get all the theology about Jesus.
I ona nije razumjela svu teologiju vezanu za Isusa.
But after talking with him for a very brief amount of time,
Ali nakon što je s njim kratko porazgovarala,
and this is the song, Open the Eyes of My Heart, Lord.
to nas vraća na pjesmu Otvori oči mog srca, Gospodine.
God opened the eyes of her heart.
Bog joj je stvarno otvorio oči njenog srca.
And she gives testimony.
I onda ona svjedoči.
She believes he's the Messiah, and she goes back and tells everybody in her village, I've just met the guy.
Ona vjeruje da je on Mesija i vraća se u svoje selo i svima govori, upoznala sam tog čovjeka.
And that changes how she understands her life question.
I to mijenja način na koji ona vidi svoje životne probleme.
Her shame could make her look at God and blame God.
Njen sram ju je mogao nagnati da ona pogleda Boga i da okrivi Boga za to.
That's darkness.
To je tamo.
Or look at God and think he could never accept me.
Ili da pogleda Boga i da kaže, on me nikad ne bi mogao prihvatiti.
That's darkness.
To je isto tako tama.
Instead, she saw Jesus.
Ali ona je vidjela Isusa
and she realized the Messiah can love me.
i shvatila je Mesija mene može voljeti.
She saw his life, and that life gave light to her eyes.
Vidjela je njegov život i taj život rasvijetlio je njezine oči.
It also happens when we have these big intellectual or theological dilemmas.
Isto tako kad imamo neke velike teološke intelektualne dileme.
And as Christians, we're reading Scripture, and there's stuff in here that drives us crazy.
I kao kršćani mi čitamo Bibliju i neke stvari iz Biblije nas izluđuju.
I cannot figure it out.
Ne mogu ovo
It
razumjeti.
makes no sense.
Nema smisla.
And if I trust in the light of my own mind,
I ako vjerujem svjetlu svog vlastitog uma,
it can lead me to define God in a way that's not consistent with His Word.
onda sam u opasnosti da definiram Boga na način koji nije sukladan sa Biblijom.
Questions like pain and suffering in the world.
Pitanja kao zašto postoji bol i patnja.
Questions like hell.
Pitanja, na primjer, pakao.
Grace versus law.
Milost naspram zakona.
Free will predestination.
Predodređenje i slobodna volja.
Why me but not my grandmother?
Zašto ja, zašto ne moja baka?
These questions can just rip at our mind, and we don't know how to answer them, and they can make me start seeing God in a dark way.
Ta pitanja koja razaraju naš um i naše srce i mogu me navesti da Boga promatram iz pozicije tame.
So in chapter 6, when they wanted to make him king,
U 6. poglavlju kad su htjeli Isusa okruniti za kralja,
Jesus intentionally threw out one of these intellectual theological problems.
Isus je namjerno pred njih bacio taj jedan teološki intelektualni problem.
Okay, you want me to be king?
Ok, želite da vam postanem kralj?
Drink my blood, eat my flesh.
Pijte moju krv i jedite moje tijelo.
And he doesn't bother to explain it.
I uopće se nije potrudio da im
In
objasni.
fact, he resists explaining it.
Zapravo odbija to objasniti.
Until most of that crowd walks away.
Sve dok većina tih ljudi nije otišla,
It just shows that their minds were already dark.
to nam samo pokazuje da su njihovi umovi već bili u tami.
And so then you look at Peter in verse 68,
I onda imate Petra u 68.
and I'm
stihu.
convinced he doesn't get it either.
Ja sam siguran da ni Petar ne razumije šta Isus
He
htio
has
reći.
no idea what Jesus was talking about.
Nema pojma o čem je Isus govorio.
But he says, Lord, where are we going to go?
Ali Petar kaže, Gospodine, a komu ćemo
You have the
reći?
words of eternal life.
Ti imaš riječi vječnog života.
See, he sees life in Jesus.
Znači, on vidi život u Isusu.
And we believed and come to know that you are the Holy One of God.
Mi vjerujemo i znamo da si ti svetac Božji.
That life became light in his mind.
Život je za njega postao svjetlo.
He's sticking with Jesus.
I on ostaje uz Isusa.
Let's see. What about loss and questions of loss and tragedy and pain?
Šta je sa gubitkom, tragedijom, boli?
This is a major reality that causes people to turn away from God and to turn away from the church and to turn away from being a Christian.
To je veliki jedan razlog radi kojeg ljudi odustaju od Boga, od crkve, od kršćanstva.
My life question is, God, why did you let my father die?
Ako je moje pitanje, Bože, zašto si dopustio da moj otac umre?
Why are you causing this tragedy in my life?
Zašto dopuštaš ovu tragediju u mom životu?
Then we turn to chapter 11
Onda idemo u poglavlje 11
and we look at Mary and Martha.
i razmotrimo Mariju i Martu.
And what's going on in their life could very easily make them want to turn away from the goodness of God. God cannot be good if he's doing this to our brother.
Njihova situacija bi ih lako mogla navesti da zaključe da Bog nije dobar. Dakle, ako Bog dopušta da se ovo našem bratu dogodi, mora biti da Bog nije dobar.
Especially when Jesus didn't come quickly when we asked him to, but he waited around for a couple of days before he even came.
Pogotovo kad Isus nije došao brzo kad smo ga mi zvali, nego je čekao, odugovlačio i dolazi nakon 4 dana.
And he healed all these other people.
Izliječio je sve druge ljude.
But we've sat at his feet, we've served him, we've loved him, we've cared about him, and he lets our brother die.
A mi smo sjedili do njegovih nogu, služili ga, slušali ga, bili s njim i on dopusti da naš brat umre.
Verse 24
24.
to
stih
27,
do
chapter
27.
11. Jesus just told Martha her brother's going to rise again.
Isus je upravo Marti rekao da će njen brat uskrsnuti.
And Martha says, I know he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day.
I ona kaže, znam da će uskrsnuti o uskrsnuću u posljednji dan.
So she has this theological belief.
Znači ona teološki vjeruje u uskrsnuće.
Jesus is going to take that and point it right at himself.
Ali Isus to okreće i usmjerava na samoga sebe.
It's not going to help you to believe in that theological proposition.
Ne pomaže vam ako samo vjerujete u nekakvu teološku činjenicu.
If you don't get Jesus.
Ako ne razumijete Isusa.
And Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life.
Isus je govori, ja sam uskrsnuće i život.
He who believes in me shall live even if he dies.
Ko vjeruje u mene, ako i umre, živjet će.
And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this, Martha?
Tko god živi i vjeruje u mene, sigurno nigda neće umrijeti. Vjeruješ li ovo, Marta?
Regardless of what I'm about to do with Lazarus, do you believe that Lazarus has life, whether I raise him or not right now?
Nevezano za to šta ću ja napraviti ili neću napraviti s Lazarom, vjeruješ li ti da Lazar ima život? Uskrisio ja njega ili ne?
Are you going to answer your question, your life question of tragedy, based on how you feel and what you see right now?
Hoćete li svoja pitanja o tragediji, svoja životna pitanja odgovoriti na temelju onoga što vidite sada?
Or are you going to sit beside me
Ili ćete sjesti pokraj mene
and hear my words
i slušati moje riječi
and let my words answer your life question?
i dopustiti da moje riječi odgovaraju na vaše životna pitanja.
And Martha lets his words answer.
I Marta dopušta da
She
njegove
says,
riječi
yes, Lord, I believe that you are
odgovore.
the Christ, the Son of God, even he who comes into the world.
Kaže, da, Gospodine, ja tvrdo vjerujem da si ti Mesija, Sin Božji koji je došao na svijet.
The last one,
Posljednji.
so we've seen an example of Jesus answers the life question of shame,
Dakle, vidjeli smo kako Isus odgovara na životno pitanje srama,
of intellectual dilemma,
na intelektualnu dilemu,
of tragedy and loss,
na pitanje tragedije i gubitka
and also about societal pressure.
i isto tako društveni pritisak.
These are all questions that cause us to have dark thoughts about God.
Sva ta pitanja navode nas na tamne misli o Bogu.
And notice I'm not saying that Jesus is answering these questions completely intellectually.
I primijetite da ne kažem ja da Isus odgovara u potpunosti intelektualno na ova pitanja.
He answers them by us trusting him whether we get it or not.
Nego odgovara na njih na način da traži da mi povjerujemo u njega, bez obzira razumijeli mi njegov odgovor ili ne.
Because sometimes it's the light of understanding he gives us,
Ponekad nam daje svjetlo razumijevanja,
but sometimes it's the light of revelation,
a ponekada nam daje svjetlo otkrivenja.
which means I accept what he says whether I understand it or not.
Što znači ja prihvaćam ono što on kaže, bez obzira razumio ja to ili ne.
But since it is true because he said it, it gets me through.
Ali budući da je to istina, jer Isus kaže da je istina, ta istina me onda pronosi kroz moju situaciju.
So we already read the story of the blind man. He's the one who he's experiencing this by trusting Jesus, his whole society is pressing against him.
Pročitali smo priču o slijepcu i budući da je on povjerovao u Isusa, radi toga doživljava pritisak cijelog društva oko
He's
sebe.
actually kicked out of the synagogue.
Izbacuju ga iz sinagoge.
He was already so rejected, and now he finally has a chance to be acceptable.
On je već bio odbačen prije i sad konačno ima priliku da bude prihvaćen.
Jesus gave him that,
Isus mu to daje.
but if he sticks with Jesus,
Ali ako ostane sa Isusom,
he's cast out again.
onda ga opet odbacuju.
He smelled something good in Jesus.
On je u Isusu nanjušio nešto dobro.
So Jesus, and again, none of these people understood what was going on.
I opet, nijedan od ovih ljudi nije u potpunosti razumio šta se događa.
Verse 34, Jesus finds him after he got thrown out.
34. stih, Isus ga je našao nakon što su ga izbacili.
And Jesus says, do you believe in the Son of Man?
I kaže, vjeruješ li u Sina čovječega?
And he says, who is the Son of Man so I can believe in him?
A on odgovori, a tko je taj Sin čovječi da vjerujem u njega?
And Jesus says, you both see him, he is the one talking with you.
A Isus govori, pa vidio si ga, on je taj koji s tobom razgovara.
And because he trusted Jesus,
I zato što je vjerovao Isusu,
he says, then I believe.
on kaže, ok, vjerujem.
And he worshipped Jesus.
I štovao je Isusa tada.
Jesus became light to his eyes in spite of this heavy question of, if I'm going to believe, I'm not going to belong.
Isus je postao svjetlo njegovim očima, unatoč ovom pitanju, ako povjerujem u njega, neću imati pripadnost sa svojim narodom.
In conclusion, I guess the question for each of us is, do we smell the life of Jesus?
Za kraj, pitanje za svakoga od nas je, osjetimo li mi tu ugodnu aromu Isusovog života?
I remember that moment in college
Sjećam se tog trenutka na faksu
when I got that it's Jesus.
kad sam ja shvatio da je Isus.
It's what Jesus told Philip. He said, if you knew me, you would know the Father.
To je Isus rekao Filipu, kad bi poznavao mene, poznavao bi i Oca.
Philip says, show me the Father.
Filip kaže, pokaži mi Oca.
And Jesus is surprised.
A Isus je iznenađen.
What do you mean, show you the Father?
Kako to misliš da ti pokažem Oca?
If you know me, you see the Father.
Ako znaš mene, onda znaš Oca.
So I didn't understand any of this.
Nisam to razumio u tom trenutku.
But I don't know what I was, 19, 20, I got that it's Jesus.
Bilo mi je nekakvih 19-20 godina, ali shvatio sam Isus.
Jesus is the answer to the questions.
Isus je odgovor na pitanja.
Questions of shame,
Pitanja srama,
intellectual dilemma,
intelektualne dileme,
loss and tragedy,
gubitak i
pressure
tragedija,
and opposition.
pritisak i
All
protivljenje
these things
svih.
that would want me to make me say, God is not good in my life.
Sve one stvari koje me tjeraju da kažem Bog nije dobar u mom životu.
When I'm walking with Jesus,
Kad hodam s Isusom,
it's back to the garden. When I'm walking with
vraćamo se u
Jesus,
vrt, kad hodam sa Isusom,
his light is making sense of things.
njegovo svjetlo stavlja sve stvari u perspektivu i objašnjava ih.
And I'm not using him as a flashlight
Ne koristim Isusa kao svoju svjetiljku
to explain things the way I want them to be explained.
da potvrdim svoja objašnjenja
I'm walking with
raznih
him
stvari, nego hodam s njim
and I'm looking at him.
i gledam u njega.
I'm not turned full face to him all the time.
Nisam uvijek baš okrenut njemu potpuno lice,
Because his bright light, I think, would overwhelm me.
zato što bi me zaslijepilo njegovo svjetlo.
Maybe that's what we're going for in worship.
Možda tome težimo kad slavimo Boga.
And in those deep times when we need him to deal with our own sin.
I u onim dubokim vremenima kad trebamo da se on pozabavi sa našim grijehom.
We need his light poured onto us so that it will reveal darkness in us.
Trebamo njegovo svjetlo da se izlije na nas kako bi razotkrilo tamu u nama.
But I think, what if our normal position in life
Ali što ako naš normalni položaj u životu
was that we were walking through life in fellowship with Jesus,
je takav da hodamo u zajedništvu s Isusom
and
kroz
he
život
was in the center.
i on je u centru.
So everything we see, we try to see through his eyes.
Da sve što gledamo pokušavamo vidjeti njegovim očima.
Because if seeing him is seeing the Father,
Jer ako vidimo njega, vidjeli smo Oca.
then seeing as he sees is seeing as the Father sees.
A kad gledamo onako kako on gleda, onda gledamo i onako kako Otac gleda.
Have you smelled the life that is in Jesus?
Jeste li pomirisali slatku aromu života Isusa?
Because in him is life,
Jer u njemu je život.
and that life
Taj život
is the light of men.
je svjetlo ljudima.